Hi there, Sam here from Future Riders. Today we've got the A20 Pro with us and I'm just going to do a quick run through of how to change the throttle if you would ever need to. There's only a few tools that we need today. We need a 2.5mm Allen key, a little bit of cable, a shoelace or something like that just to help you feed the cable through, and then also a posi screwdriver and some electrical tape or sellotape if you've got it. Let's get to it. So for whatever reason that you need to remove your throttle, first things first, 5mm Allen key. We're just going to undo the brake lever just to give us some space on the other side. Move that out the way. You can lift it up a little bit as well. So over to the other side, just here, 2.5mm Allen key. Just knock that off. That'll allow you now to be able to move the throttle and then slide it off when obviously you're ready to. While we're over at the front end, just going to undo this. This is going to allow us to remove the throttle cable easier when it comes to it. And then what we're going to do, we're going to get the bike on the desktop just a little bit higher for me to work on rather than being down on my knees. So bike's on the bench. We're just going to remove the battery, get that out the way. And then we've got 6 screws to undo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This has got a little 6mm nut on the back of it. Normally, you don't need a spanner to do it. You can just put your finger on it, and then it'll allow it to come free. There you go. Yeah, you might end up dropping it, but it's always easy to find again. So if we undo all 6 bolts, now a good little tip, obviously, when you've pulled that side casing off, is just having a look how that sits. Now you'll see two little, so obviously it'll sit, you'll see like a little cutout here, and then like a little lip. It just sits nicely in there. And then when you come to it on the other side, you can see the lip and where it sits to there as well. So, next step. What we're going to do, we're obviously just going to give this a little bit of a jiggle, find out which cable's which. Obviously I'm pulling on the throttle cable that's inside, that's inserted on the left side of the frame, just giving that a little jiggle, see which cables it's moving, and I can see this one here. So we've got 2 connectors, one's blue, yellow and white, and then we've also got the one with that's coming out the throttle cable. Red, black, green, brown, grey. So we're just going to undo those. And then what we're going to do, we're going to get some cable. This just makes it easier for threading. I mean, a shoelace would do it, anything. Just so that when you're pulling it back down, come out a little bit easier. Okay. I'm going to pull that up. So I've just flipped the bike round just for ease, so you can see what I'm doing on this side. We're just going to pull this grommet out. Can be a little bit tight, a little bit fiddly. And then there's our cable. Pull that out. All right, struggle a little bit. With obviously a thicker cable that I'm using. There we go. So once we've got the throttle cable out of the frame, what we can do, obviously we've loosened this off already. So now, give it a bit of a twist. And get that throttle off. There we go. Now obviously I'm using this throttle again, but what you're going to do, what you're going to see is that you're going to have this on the old throttle. You're going to need to put that on the new throttle, so then when the grommet sits in the frame, it's nice and easy to put back in. So take this one off. Obviously pull them out one at a time, and then same again, put them on your new throttle, have them there. So we're going to put this throttle back on the bike. They are quite tight, but still. Roughly try and find the position of what it was in before. Get your 2.5 mil, nip that back up. What you can also do while you're here, roughly find your position of your brake lever, 5 mil Allen key. Just nip that up. You can always adjust that again after. So what you're then going to do, you're going to get your throttle cable, thread it around the front of the frame, behind the brake lever. Obviously you've got your cable that was in before, just slide that grommet up there a little bit. You've got your cable that was in before, we're going to tape that back on. And then we're going to go back through, so one at a time. Might take these a little bit too close, there we go. And then we're going to pull. As you're pulling it down, what you'll find, there we go. So there's your cables. So now we can undo this tape. Just makes it easier than having to try and feed it down, trying to grab it, and obviously a lot quicker. So once your cable's through, just need to get that grommet back in place. Can be a little bit fiddly, but nice and easy, just a little bit of pressure. And there we have it. That just protects the frame from any rubbing or anything like that. And just pull it out of the bottom so it looks nice and neat. There we go. So once you've threaded the throttle cable through, now time to obviously plug the throttle cables back in. So just find your 2 cables. Obviously make sure it's the right way as well. You'll see a little lip on the plug that's going to the controller, and obviously the clip to undo on the throttle cable there. So that's all done. So we thread that back up. You can pull that back up that way a little bit just to create a bit of space, and then push that back down. Side casing go back on. So what you've got to do, obviously we've got the battery terminals there. So just line everything up and it should just clip back into place. Obviously all your screws should be in place still. Get your posi screwdriver. Just start nipping those up. This last one here is a little bit fiddly. Just purely because you've got to get your fingers behind here. There we go. Again, you might need a 6 mil, but you can also just use your finger as well. And that's gone tight as well there. Just check the battery work, fits. There we go. No movement. And let's check the bike turns on. So with everything back in place, we're just going to test the throttle turns on. Yeah, we're in mode 1. Push the throttle. Yeah, we've got power going to the motor as well. All good. So all that's left to do is to just secure the brake cable and the throttle cable together just to keep it nice and tidy. So that's it, guys. How to change the throttle video complete. If you've got any questions or you'd like to see any more videos on the A20 Pro, we're going to have a full playlist with anything from like this video here, changing your throttle, to how to change the rear wheel, how to remove the rear wheel, how to change the suspension, headset bearings and things like that. Cheers guys, thank you for watching the video. Thank you.